if you never set the target to describe your perfect reality, your everyday life, then how can you make those decisions knowing it's guiding you in the direction that you want to go? In fact, you're basically driving aimlessly, no destination, don't care where you end up, and sure, you can enjoy the ride, and that's fine, and you can stop and take breaks and take pictures and woohoo, I'm on a road trip, and it's like, well, where are you going? Well, I don't know, but this road trip's fun, man, woohoo! You guys, it's awesome. We had a new record-setting month in the business in 11 years. New high is always good news, right? That means we're still going up, and we will be going up for a long time because I believe the momentum is really just starting, so it's very, very exciting. And I believe the 50th anniversary contest is over, and GPM placed first every single month for 6 months, which is a huge honor, and very, very excited that we were able to make that happen, which is massive. So I look forward to the day when you guys are working your way up in the ranks and you guys are able to really dominate the leaderboards in the contest also. And it's funny too, like ever since I was in the early part of my business, I've been on the leaderboard for these different contests. Like there's always been some kind of contest in some type of way, and I've been up there pulling shots with Cynthia Briganti and some of the big names, even when I was just a 6A and a 6A2. So it's been a long time, and you guys, whenever these contests come out, I want you to really think about, like, this is a huge, important lesson, is think about, like, how do I need to show up in my business? What do I need to adjust in order for me to capitalize and basically get free money? Because this is extra money from Enagic, from the from the government. That's another program, which is the SETC credit from the government. But this one is, what I was referring to is like, it's bonus money, quite literally. And Enagic already pays us 9 ways. And I feel like the difference between the people that are on the contest are the people who intentionally learn, understand what are the rules, how do you qualify, what are they really trying to achieve by offering the additional bonus. Like, they're doing it for a reason. They're not just saying, here's millions of dollars extra for fun. They have a purpose behind it. And a lot of the times as an affiliate or as a distributor, people don't take the time to understand from the company's perspective, from Mr. Shiro's perspective, what is their goal? Why are they doing this? Why are they incentivizing us? And obviously, the most simple answer is to increase sales, to motivate us, to get us excited, to increase our activity, to spend more on ads, to get more leads, right? That's an obvious. But also at the same time, there's more to it than that. And in this particular contest, it was about this momentum leading into the 50th anniversary convention. Like, they wanted the company to go to new all-time highs at, 6 months prior or 8 months prior to convention, so that at convention they can celebrate and say the company after 50 years is here and had the best month they've ever had now. Does this making sense for you? Like, if you were running this business, wouldn't you want to have a 50th anniversary convention and have the month before be the biggest month the company's ever seen? Makes a lot of sense, right? Like, you wouldn't want to be in a decline or a slump or like 2 years ago was our best month and now, no, you don't want that. So this was part of their motivation. So you have to, first of all, pay attention to when these contests come out, learn them, understand them, promote them, share with your teams, get everybody excited. And they usually have some type of contest for like below 6A and some type of contest for above 6A. So they keep it very fair. They include everybody, and there's lots of opportunities for extra cash. So yeah, I was just thinking about this too. I'm going to do a podcast on this more in depth and more officially or whatever. But when we look at the journey from the beginning of our business to, like, let's call it 6A23 or 6A25 or whatever, and you look at the title incentive bonuses, right? You see that they're 3K, 6K, 12K, 25K, and so forth. So how long does it take? How many positions in your business does it take for you to receive $100,000 in title incentive bonuses, right? If you add them all together. And most of us are building 3 accounts. I would hope that you're on your way to at least owning 3 accounts. Some people own 5, 10, 12, 15, 20 accounts. I think that's way too many and silly to do personally, but hey, to each their own. But I think 3, max 5 is typically what I would recommend. But anyway, so the point is let's say you have between 3 and 5 accounts, and then each one of them hits 6A, so that's $3K each, and then each one hits 6A2, that's $6K each. Each one hits -2, that's $12K each. And so even at that, that's 48, 24, 12. We're still not at 100K. Then you have one account hit -3, that's 25. So basically one account hitting -3 and all the rest of your accounts hitting -2, 6A2, 6A, etc. would be right around the 100K mark. So the average person is going to take anywhere from 3 to 10 years to hit -3. Let's use it as an example. So in 3 to 10 years, you can get $100,000 in title incentive bonuses, right? Which is amazing. Now, check this out, guys. This is redonkulous, okay? In the last 6 months, Enagic has paid an additional $455,000 USD to me in this contest in 6 months. Isn't that freaking bonkers? Like, so looking at from a place of exponential growth, from a place of momentum, from a place of not really seeing what most of you are building. I know most of you are smart. Like, sorry, I said that wrong because that implies some of you are dumb. All of you are smart. It's like, so technically, who's the dumb one on the call? No. I'm gonna backtrack, delete what I said. I meant to say, so all of you are smart, but only most of you probably have a rough idea of what you're truly building and what is potentially awaiting you 10 years from now. A lot of the time when we talk about goals, when we talk about our vision, when we talk about our life, and you ask somebody how clear they are with their vision, like their imagination, being able to picture their future and all of the details using all of their senses, how far into the future can you see? This is a good question for you to explore. This is a good thing for you to consider and think about. Can you see a month away from now? From now till Japan, can you see what your life day-to-day, what your results, what your business, what your income, what your health, what your lifestyle, what your day-to-day life looks like? Can you see it pretty clearly? Would it be fair to say that if you close your eyes and you have a runway between now and the convention that you would say that you have clarity on that? Or would it still be a little bit fuzzy? Like, I don't know, it's kind of blurry. I'm not sure. You're reacting a lot. You're unprepared a lot. You're spontaneous a lot. Nothing wrong with this. It's just about clarity, right? So what I'm getting at here is 11 years ago when I started, I hired my first mentor, my first coach, like I am to many of you. I know because when you guys apply, a lot of you say you've never invested in mentorship. So I know I'm a lot of your guys' first like paid mentor, whatever you want to call it. So when I did that for my first paid mentor, he made me do this exercise around like my vision and my goals for like 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And when I did that, it was so intimidating because I felt like I was making the future real. I was making it tangible by putting a target on where I wanted to be. So instead of being like, I'm just happy with being healthy and progressing in my career and hopefully being a dad, like very vague stuff, I was forced to actually ask myself questions of like, when I turn 30, when I turn 35, when I turn 40, what's my life gonna be like? And part of doing this is like making it tangible makes you have energetically, with your frequency, with your thoughts, with your vision, on a subconscious level, it actually makes you attract the people, places, circumstances, situations to navigate you near this vision. Not fully like 100% bang on the money, but it helps you discern with your choices in life. It actually helps you identify subconsciously, you might not even realize you're doing it, but it makes you realize that when you're making a choice to go left or right, you're really actually choosing left or right based on this target you set 10 years from now. This is making sense. It is a guiding light for you. If you never set the target to describe your perfect reality, your everyday life, then how can you make those decisions knowing it's guiding you in the direction that you want to go? In fact, you're basically driving aimlessly, no destination, don't care where you end up, and sure, you can enjoy the ride, and that's fine, and you can stop and take breaks and take pictures and woohoo, I'm on a road trip. And it's like, well, where are you going? Well, I don't know, but this road trip's fun, man. Woohoo! And then a lot of the time what happens is old age kicks in, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old kicks in, and you realize that you've been doing this weird circle going nowhere, and you never really thought about what would be like if you went somewhere more intentionally. So why am I bringing this up? Because when I got this clarity around my vision, my future, it included being number one. So a lot of the time when people are like, dude, you know, you did this and you did that, like the goal was never not to be number one. You understand? It wasn't a personal goal like I need to be number one. To me, number one represents we're helping the most people. To me, number one represents, you know, global prosperity movement is actually a reality. It's not just this fantasy, and then I got 6 people in my garage drinking beers talking about the fact we're going to change the world, and then nothing ever comes to be from that, which is what a lot of people do in affiliate marketing, network marketing, etc., is that they basically go online just to talk a bunch of nothing, and then they don't end up going anywhere. So it's all talk, no walk. So for myself, when I set these goals with my first mentor, he's the one who actually helped me get clarity on the global prosperity movement vision. Like I felt it, but I couldn't put it into words. It was very like lots of talk, lots of blah, blah, blah. And he was listening and listening and listening. He's like, how do we summarize this? Like, how do we describe it in a brand, in something simple and straightforward? And I think I told you guys this before at some point, but some of you might be new, so I'll quickly share it again. But he was like, it sounds like what you're saying to me, like your calling, your purpose, is that you've always wanted to create a global prosperity network. That's what he said, right? And I was like, as soon as he said global and prosperity, I lit up. I was like, oh, it's like, that's it. And then he said network, and I was like, just didn't land. Something about it wasn't right. So we played around with it. We did a little one of those brain map things with all these words and just kind of got creative and stuff. And then movement came up, and I was like, movement. I think that's it. Like global prosperity. I'm like, yeah. But as you know the story, I was literally just me and a few people in my living room. So I was like, it seems like a big vision, but I have zero idea how we're gonna do it. I don't know anybody internationally. I have family in Hungary. That's it. And everybody else is in Canada. So like, how exactly am I gonna go global? I have no freaking clue. But let's try. Let's see what happens. And then part of that was number one. So for me, there's a sentimental connection to being number one in the global contest because 11 years ago, it was quite literally me with a piece of paper going, holy shit, imagine we could be number one. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of you right now haven't given yourself permission. You haven't given yourself the belief to actually feel as if you yourself and your group and your team could become number one. Like, has any of you on this call, you know, in your journal, in your thing, have ever written that down? Like, we will be the number one producing Enagic organization, or we will be the number one producing 6A organization. And then you hit 6A2, the number one producing 6A2 organization, because obviously there's levels. So a 6A is never going to knock me out of number one necessarily, but, you know, competing with people at the same level as you. Number one 6A, 6A2, number one 6A2, boom. Right now we're number one 6A2-6, and eventually we'll be number one 6A2-7 and so on. So it's like, I think that if you do not choose that, if you do not assign yourself this identity of that's who I can become with my people, with my team, with my group, then you will not ever get there by accident, because the other people who do have that goal, who are setting their targets very specific and clear, they're for sure going to smoke you. They're for sure going to beat you. You know what I mean? Like, there's not one professional athlete who's a champion in any sport who didn't actually plan to become a champion. Do you understand this? Like that's how it works. So in my opinion, like one of the biggest lies that's out there when people accept a big award like the Grammys or the Oscars or these, international kind of awards that we see is they'll take their award, right? And they'll give their little speech and be like, I never imagined that something like this would be possible. Every time I see that, I'm like, fucking liar. You are lying. Because you would have had to at some point actually been like, I will work on my craft so I could be the best version of me so I can get credit for my work and be celebrated on the biggest stage. Like it has to be connected to that because everything in our reality is made twice. First inside, internally with our imagination, and then externally in our reality. This is making sense. So if you want to see it in your outer world, you must see it and believe it in your inner world. And I know a lot of you heard this and know this, but a lot of people are not embodying this because you have to be an internal champion, top leader, top producer, top income earner, etc. internally first before you will ever see it externally. And when you see it externally, there's a delay. And that's the part that always messes people up is like, well, I'm a millionaire and I see it. And it's like you open your eyes and you're like, well, shit, I got no money in my bank account. It's like, well, this is bullshit. It doesn't work. No. It's a repetition thing. And then eventually the money starts going up and up and up and up and it happens. So, yeah, let me let you guys all in because I forgot to keep adding people in. So anyways, is this helpful? Like, is this, letting you guys see that you get to very much pick and choose where you want to be in the future. You don't have to necessarily attach a specific time to it, but you do need to see it as it's coming and be grateful for that now. Otherwise, you're really doing yourself a disservice and you're diminishing your true potential and power. It's like your power is infinite. But if you don't believe you're infinitely powerful to create, then your power is only as much as you allow to believe. So let's say you have 100% potential and power, but you only believe that you're 5% capable or you're 5% as good as other people or whatever because your self-worth is low, then you're maxing out at 5% of your potential and you're always staying at 5%. But it's literally only you that can choose to bump that up to 100% and then watch the magic unfold. And this is the reason why most people that are struggling, broke, unhappy, all this kind of thing, it is very much a self-inflicted, self-sabotaging behavior and belief system that is causing this. Because your beliefs will then turn into your choices and your habits, and then it creates your results like that, and it's all from internal identity. So we need to all work on increasing our identity, and when we see the people that are killing it or crushing it, just really understand that it's not an accident. People don't get to these high levels because they just stumbled into it. That's just the truth. Every single top earner, top leader in Enagic and anywhere that I've ever met, when I talk to them and they're like, yeah, man, at the beginning of my journey, I really set this target, set this goal, and now that's the reason why I'm there. And that's the reason why I have that. So it's really, really huge for you guys to be doing that. Anywho, let me stop there and get into the calls because I could probably go off for the whole call on this stuff because it gets me fired up. But let me know if that was valuable in the chat, if that kind of made you think about things a little bit differently, step your game up, get to the next level, and really call it forward. Like, there's no reason why you guys cannot become, the very best, the very top people in the future of this company and in anything else you put your mind to in your business. All right?